first, and then I am going to share my screen today because I actually want to show you something darn exciting. So give me just a second, and we're going to have a wonderful interactive conversation today. And I'm glad to have anybody with me who's here. So let me know if you're here, and we will get rocking and rolling. And I'm going to actually share with you how to get not just a conveyor belt of qualified prospects, which is one of the many things that I teach, but really how to do marketing that is low and no cost, which really makes all the difference. So as some of you may know, I am a master certified guerrilla marketer, trainer, and coach, amongst a whole bunch of other weird titles that I hold. And I was trained under the late and the great J. Conrad Levinson, who was the father of guerrilla marketing. And it's not guerrilla like, it's this kind of a guerrilla. And basically it is a kind of warfare for entrepreneurs where we can actually do all of our marketing and it's low and no cost. And gang, I'm not looking at the comments today, so I'll be back to answer all the comments shortly after. So I get asked all the time, well, what the heck, Terry, is guerrilla marketing if it's not, the kind of ape guerrilla? So it's unconventional, and yet it's very ethical, right? We're entrepreneurs. We do business with transparency, integrity, and authenticity. So it's definitely ethical, and yet it's unconventional. It's unique. It's different. It interrupts a prospect. It gets their attention and gets them to notice what you're doing. What I love about guerrilla marketing, and I've been using it forever. I wrote 2 books with J. Conrad Levinson, Guerrilla Marketing for Spas and Guerrilla Marketing for Beauty Salons. And let me just share a secret. If you are in a different profession, buy either one of those books on Amazon or wherever. And every time that I say spa or whatever, beauty salon, just cross it out and put your profession name in there because it applies to everyone. Guerrilla marketing, what I love about it is proven. It absolutely works. It gives you amazing profits with literally no money or very little money laid out. And it's totally different from all the conventional marketing everyone else is doing, which quite frankly is very cluttered and very crowded and is the reason that your marketing doesn't stand out. So if you think about the word guerrilla as like a warfare word, you have conventional marketing, and it really has kind of run its course. And then you have guerrilla marketing, which is completely different. It's about literally matching your creative energy, your wits compared to any other competitor. They can be spending a lot of money on ads and all kinds of things, and you're going to be wiser and smarter not doing that. So I was really thinking about this morning. Why is there actually a need for guerrilla marketing, especially amongst entrepreneurs? And the main reason is small businesses today, they're failing at a huge rate, one of the biggest rates ever. And very simply, I've helped over 6,000 people. I get to meet with people all the time. They really don't understand marketing. They're imitating what everybody else is doing. Oh, if everybody else went on Clubhouse, I should go. If everybody else has Facebook group, I should have one. They really don't understand marketing. They haven't been educated in marketing. So that is one of the main reasons that small businesses fail every single day. They literally don't really know what to do. They don't know what works. They see what other people are doing. They assume that works and they model it and they imitate it. And most of the time it's wrong. Guerrilla marketing works. It's simple, it's easy and effortless to understand and to apply to your business. So easy to implement. And the best part is it is like ridiculous, outrageously inexpensive. Many of the tactics are low cost and most are no cost. It really makes a lot of sense. So what exactly is a guerrilla entrepreneur? I refer to my client family members as gorillas. So what are these gorillas? Well, first of all, we know that the journey is the goal. The journey is the goal, not just the destination. The whole journey, we're going to enjoy it. We're going to make it pleasant. It's going to be easy, effortless, joyful, and fun. We are going to control our business enterprise and the growth of that enterprise. That's not going to control us. The other piece is guerrilla entrepreneurs. We operate by a plan. We understand where to go, how to go, why to go, and what to do. We know who we are as business owners. We know where we currently are, and we have a plan as to where we're going, and we know exactly how we're going to get there. I always think about this as getting in a car and going on a road trip and going, I have no idea where we're going. Do you? No, not really. Well, how are we going to get there? I don't really know. And that is how most people start their businesses, like hit or miss, guessing. Guerrilla entrepreneurs are very prepared. They understand that anything can happen and anything will happen. You know, my company, Entrepreneur, was perfectly positioned for the pandemic. We had ridiculous increase in one of our best years ever in 27 years. But that's because we were prepared. We knew anything could happen. Was I smart enough to go, oh, it's going to be a pandemic? No. I was smart enough to know here's all the things that might happen, and we have to have a plan for all of them, and we did. Nothing ever stopped. March 28th, we kind of got hit with time to be shut down. April 1st, we had programs up and running and increased our income, which was already in the $3 million range, by 600%. Okay. Did your business do that? Did you have a plan? The reason that we could deal with barriers and the reason we could succeed is we had a plan. Whether it was a pandemic or whether it was a stock market crash, I've been through all this. I've been in business 43 years. Stock market crashes, recessions, dot-coms crashing. I've been through it all. 9/11, pandemic. None of those things have interrupted my business in 43 years because I simply had a plan to deal with unforeseen circumstances. And all of you, all of my friends here at Entrepreneurs, you need to be guerrilla entrepreneurs with solid, proven plans, not a guess. So who and what is a guerrilla entrepreneur? Well, we're talking about plan. They're a plan reevaluator. My team and I are reevaluating plans literally every single week. What do we need to reevaluate? What do we need to shift? What do we need to change? We're flexible. We can shift on the dime, and we understand change as part of the status quo. Business is cyclical. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, we had 39 qualified prospects. Another week we have 3. That's the way business is, and we accept that change is just part of the status quo. It's part of life. It's part of business. We just accept it. It's not a big deal. What makes us get through this with ease is we have a strategy. And it's a proven strategy. And we know the difference between a guide, somebody who can kind of lead you, versus a master who literally takes you by the hand, nurtures you, takes you under their wing, and makes sure you're successful. Guerrilla entrepreneurs have people like that. They invest in guerrilla marketing mentors. They truly do, in my experience. They're like me. They're consistently and constantly, they're learning, they're reading, they're listening, they're watching, they're evolving, they're developing. Sometimes people say to me, well, Terry, I don't get it. You've been in business 43 years. You've owned 8 completely different multi-million-dollar companies. You've helped over 6,000 entrepreneurs reach 6, 7, and even 8 figures. Why do you have marketing strategists, business strategists? Why do you have these people when you know how to do it? Because I'm like you, I'm always looking at who's running bigger, faster, doing better, and I'm a constant learner. I read, I listen, I watch, I'm open, I'm curious at all times, and I get involved in what else is out there, what's new, what's exciting, who else can I hire, who else can I learn from, who can literally take me by the hand and lead me down the path. And a guerrilla entrepreneur completes qualifications. What do I mean by that? They start a program, they finish it. They enter a program. If they're getting certified or if they're learning knowledge, they are going to implement. I only work with implementers. So if any of you are not yet one of my client family members, you're kind of thinking, maybe I want some help from Terry. I will only help you if you are an implementer. So, guerrilla marketing yourself. What does that really mean? Well, everything about you is part of your guerrilla marketing image. How you dress, whether it's on Zoom or whether it's in person or whether it's branded photos of you. Believe it or not, even what your hair looks like, what your body image looks like, your height and your weight. People are judging you. Do you have facial hair or not? Do you wear makeup? Do you have a business card? I actually don't. Some people do. What kind of a laugh do you have? So what does this all mean? Well, this is no cost. I'm giving you no cost things that can make a difference. By simply changing a bit of your image, being authentic and being you, you can resonate and attract more people. You see, you're marketing yourself every day, whether you know it or not. You're prospecting, you're networking, you're on social media, maybe you're doing videos, maybe you're emailing. It doesn't really matter. People are judging everything. How do you smell? What do your teeth look like? What's your smile like? Are you carrying an expensive briefcase or a backpack? Do you look me in the eye when you're talking to me, which means credibility and trust? How do you walk? Do you hold yourself as if you know? Is your tone of voice assured or is it like questionable? Years ago, I owned an art business and I was evaluating one of my art consultants. She was the highest salesperson in my team. So I went to watch her do an art show. And a couple asked her a question. She's the art consultant, right? And she literally did this. I'm really not kidding. She went, "Are you asking me?" I was flabbergasted, but that a way that she carried herself and her tone of voice showed a lot. Handwriting, what kind of car do you drive? And if you say you're successful and you pull up in some like beat up jalopy, I begin to wonder, what is your office like? What is your home like? Do you have nervous habits? Do you ever meet somebody when they shake your hand, they're sort of like a dead fish? That talks a lot about the person. Their letterhead, how available do they make themselves? And by the way, you may think, well, I need to make myself really available, or you may think, I need not to make myself available. Are you going to be Sears or are you going to be Neiman Marcus? These are decisions you need to make. How well you write and communicate. Using the telephone, do you wear glasses or not? I had a mentor of mine years ago who said, Terry, glasses sell really well on stage and so do women's hair, like up in a bun. I don't do it, but you may want to. What is your title? My title is Chief Entrepreneur. Are you neat or are you a big mess? I walked into a guy's office about 3 years ago that I was considering hiring. I've never seen, honestly, my husband's not very clean. I've never seen an office with that much clutter. I don't want to hire somebody that's so cluttered. So just give thoughts to some of these, your enthusiasm, your energy level, your comfort online. These are things that people are looking at every day. You are constantly, whether you know it or not, sending a message about yourself every single day, every single minute, every single second. Now, I'm happy to just be me authentically. And if the message that I send out there, you dig, let's have a conversation. If you don't, that's okay with me too. Okay. So you have to think about that for yourselves. Let me give you some questions about marketing yourself. My first question, and I'd love to see answers in the chat, and I want really truthful answers. Who are you now? If a friend described you, be very honest here. What would a friend really say? And if you don't know the answer, go ask 5 friends. And then I want the answer in the post. Be transparent, okay? If you're not willing to be transparent and kind of show a side of yourself, you will not succeed in your business. People want honest people. Second thing, and I really ask you to think of this, I ask all my client family members this, while I'm here to help people make a lot more money and scale their businesses, I want them to have an amazing life. Some of you may know, some of you may not. I live in Mexico in the winter. It's my pool in the background. This is my patio. I live in Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia, part of the year in a very nice house. And I live in a condo on the beach in New Jersey for the rest of the year. That's what I want out of life. I want to help a lot of people, make a huge difference for them. And I want to do that while spending quality time with my charity foundation, with my family, with my friends, with my spiritual practices, and with my client family members. I'm very specific. What do you want out of life? Let me see some of your answers. Please be super specific. And if you go, I don't know, it's time to sit down and figure that out before you work on increasing and scaling your business. Here's a really interesting question. Question number 3. How will you know when you've achieved what it is you want? How will you actually know? So when I started my first business, and shockingly, back in 1982, I made $1 million, which was a lot of money in 1982, not so much today. I thought that I'd like achieved it, like, oh, look what I achieved. And then I realized that was not the important part. So, how will you know when you achieved it? For me, the important part came about, I think it's about 12 years ago now, when my husband and I were able to do reverse tithing, giving away 90% of our income to our foundation and living on 10%. But that doesn't mean that's right for you. How will you know when you've achieved it? Answers in the comments. Now, look at your marketing right now. If we were to have a conversation, I would ask you this: how are you marketing yourself right now? Do you have online or offline brochures? Do you have any printed material? Do you send out letters or notes or emails? Faxes are kind of outdated. Some people do them. Do you have a website? Do you have a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group? Are you on Clubhouse? Whatever it is, what's your attitude like? What are your ethics like? So we were talking the other day about a prospective client family member who really wanted me to take them on. And I said, no, lovingly. I said, no, because they didn't have the right ethics. I've said no to other people who don't have the right attitude. They're all about, yeah, I tried that. That's not good. Somebody else said not to do that. I guarantee a 200% return on investment. My client family members succeed. There is just find a way or make a way. So if you're going to doubt everything and be a negative Nelly, you'll be like that guy in my photo, like, nah, never going to get ahead. Okay. Attitude and ethics, those are writer downers. You need to really take a look at these. Your inner game determines your outer game. As some of you know, I'm also a clinical psychologist, positive psychologist. I've spent a lot of years doing life coaching. I have more than 9 certifications. So I'm always with my client family members while we're scaling and we're working on business. I'm helping them with attitude and ethics, because your inner game determines your outer game. So how is your attitude? How is it with your colleagues? How is it with your customers, clients, or patients? How is it in general related to your industry? And how is it in general related to your competitors? See, I don't see anybody as a competitor. I see everyone as a collaborator. Interestingly enough, someone that I've known for years that I've always seen as a collaborator, because some of their client family members also hired me, saw me as a competitor. I find that really interesting because I don't see anyone as a competitor ever. I refer business to competitors. I prefer coming from collaboration. That's how I am. What are your business ethics? At Heartrepreneur, every one of my client family members stands for transparency, integrity, and authenticity. Are your business ethics lined up in that way? The most successful business owners I know, and I know so many multi-million-dollar business owners, they all do business as a Heartrepreneur. So I'm going to tell you the 4, quote, hardest things to do. They're not necessarily hard. I just know that's common language. Step number 1 is you have to get to know yourself. Yes. Before I start teaching you to scale a business, you better know yourself. You got to know yourself on the inside really well. Secondly, which is why I asked the questions today that I asked, you have to work out exactly what it is you really, really want. Thirdly, you have to write it all down. I know some of you may be like, yeah, I know it, it's in my head. I'm going to tell you why writing is important. I'm not talking about keyboarding, I'm talking about writing. When you keyboard, you only use one hemisphere of the brain, and literally your creative innovation centers are closed off. When you use both hemispheres of the brain by writing, you literally are writing every single thing that you can about getting to know yourself and what you want. The human brain is so magnificent, my friend. The human brain can't tell fantasy from reality. I love animals. So if I see a dog or a horse or any animal shot in a movie, I always burst in tears. And my husband always looks at me, Mark, and says, you know, that didn't really happen, right? Yeah, I do. Yet my brain is tricked. Can't tell fantasy from reality. So when I started writing down things when I was 15 years old, saying, I'm going to impact people all around the world. I'm going to be a best-selling author. I'm going to speak to people all around the world and make a difference. Believe me, I didn't know the how. Everybody laughed. People saw it in my journal, thought it was hilarious. I wrote that at 15. That's now been my life purpose, write it down, and then do something about it. So imagine if I just wrote that in a journal at age 15 and never did anything. No. At age 15, I started buying, with the little income that I made, every book that I could find on self-development and personal development. I started journaling. I started doing exercises. I started meditating. I started doing all of that at 15, and I kept it up. I got to know myself. I got to know what I wanted. I didn't know the how. I had it written down, and I took action steps every single day. So I'm going to go through a couple of reality checks. I'm going to give you 10 of the ones that I use a lot. Let's look at the state of the economy, which is always changing. Some people say, oh, it's a recession, it's a depression, it's thriving. Well, let me just tell you, I've been in business 43 years in a difficult economy. No big deal. We just speak to more prospects. We gain referrals and follow-up business. Really easy. People go, well, how did you grow so much in the pandemic? Super easy. We just did things that would lead more people that we could help. That's all. Second of all, we know that our competitors are out there, right? Competitors. They also want to win the hearts and minds of the customers. Well, we know that. So we pay attention to what our competitors doing or saying, not to steal business from them, but to see what they're using that's working. Our next reality check is, and this is really important and it's changing every day, there is so much great technology out there. I was just sharing last week with some of my client family members some of the technology they don't know about. Wait till my client family members see these next couple of weeks of training I'm doing just for them. But there's so much out there for free where you can have more marketing tools. Your message can get in front of literally hundreds of thousands of people, and every single day you can reduce your costs. We use the internet and social media all at no cost. And there's a lot of other affordable new media, no cost, out there as well. Prospects, yours, mine, anyone's, they keep up with the news. They do. And they react according to the news, whether it's politics, whether it's coronavirus, it really doesn't matter. So you have to understand how your prospects are thinking. And unless you are doing what your prospects are doing, you are not going to be ahead of your prospects. So I understood instantly what people were thinking about lockdown and pandemic and what mentally they were going through, and we responded to that. Another reality check. Your marketing budget. You have to live within it. It should only be 10% of your income, 20 max. And you need to stretch it to its fullest extent. I have over 300 proven low and no cost guerrilla marketing tactics. You simply put those into place and you don't need a marketing budget. The clutter of other marketing, whether it be too many emails, then you have to shift. Whether it be a lot of direct mail, which you don't see right now, then you have to shift. The sophistication of marketing, then you have to shift. So you have to be paying attention to trends. Let's face it, your prospects, my prospects, we have a lot of stuff on our minds. We're not necessarily going, oh, I got to go buy this. I just saw this like nail thing. Oh, I got to go buy this nail thing. Or I saw something the other day with shampoo. I got to go buy that. Or you might be here going, well, I kind of know I need a business strategist, but not at this point. We all have a lot of things on our mind. So we really have to explain to people why what we're providing is logical for them. You need to know the difference between a motivating marketing message and a clever marketing message. I think most marketers, in my experience, even marketing agencies, they don't have a clue. They really don't. I'm sad to say that. And they often mistake the two. I could care less how clever your marketing message is. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear a motivational marketing message that gets people to take action. This is really important and most people miss it. In general, the public is scrolling through emails, scrolling through Facebook ads, TV, radio, podcasts, and they kind of have a ho-hum attitude, going along to get along. Life is the same, not going to be much better. My income is what it is. My job is what it is. My business, whatever. My weight, yeah, I'll get to it. My health, I should eat better, whatever. And they have a lot of things on their mind. And generally speaking, what you're putting out there in your marketing or I'm putting out there, it's not really on their mind. You have to be committed to your plan. You have to see that marketing is not a one-time event. Marketing is a process. Happens all the time. It takes time. By the way, you are not in the business of being a naturopath, a doctor, a chiropractor, a mortgage broker, a realtor, a coach, a consultant, speaker, trainer, author. I don't care what you do. You're not in that business, my friend. You are in the business of marketing that business, marketing consulting, marketing chiropractic, marketing mortgages. That's what you're really in the business of. Please get that. That's a key point. So what does a guerrilla marketing invest? They invest time to learn guerrilla marketing and to get a mentor, money to invest in a guerrilla marketing mentor, and energy to actually put their marketing into place. So as a guerrilla entrepreneur, you have to know, as I said before, the journey is the goal. It's not just the destination. This is why I think even weight loss programs don't work. If all you care about is losing 20 pounds, you're looking for the goal, the goal, the goal. Then when you hit the goal, you gain weight. If the journey is the goal, you maintain the weight loss. A guerrilla entrepreneur achieves balance from day one. We're not in a hurry. I got to build this business overnight. I got to do 100,000, 20,000. No. And we keep it very low stress. That's one of our benchmarks. Easy, effortless, joyful, and fun. That's how I built all 8 of my multi-million-dollar businesses. A guerrilla entrepreneur looks forward to getting to work. I can't wait. I roll up my sleeves and go, oh, this is so exciting. When I go on vacation, I can't wait to come back. When I replenish on a weekend, which is what I do, I'm excited about Monday morning. We live in the present. We don't go in the past and go, I should have done this, I could have done that. It's all over. And we're not thinking about the future because it's not a given. I may not even have tomorrow or 5 minutes from now. It's in the moment. We understand the precious nature of time. We all come in with birth dates. Everybody here knows their birthday, right? But they don't stamp on the bottom of your foot your checkout date. And so we have to operate as if we don't have a lot more time. Time is a precious commodity you can never get back. Those of you who are spending so much time talking to people on the phone, cold calling, I don't know, I hear all these crazy things every day and I'm like, really? Seriously? No, you don't need to be doing any of that. Operate by a plan that works, that is proven, it's strategic, and keep an upbeat attitude. You know what? Sometimes things don't work as you thought they would, and you go, okie dokie, not a biggie. You move on from there. As a guerrilla entrepreneur, you follow a proven strategy. And what you're aiming for is results. Every strategy that you put in place, you measure. Did I get a result? Did I get a result? It's dependent on many people. It's dependent on a guerrilla mentor, guerrilla marketing mentor. It's dependent on you. It's dependent on your prospects, your client, family members, and the synergy of a mastermind team. A guerrilla entrepreneur constantly learns. I spend about 2 hours every single day, 7 days a week learning. I'm a constant learner. A guerrilla entrepreneur is passionate about what they do. They're focused on the goal. My goal is helping 10,000 more people this year. That is my goal. I don't know what that looks like. I don't care how it happens. I just want to help 10,000 people. A guerrilla entrepreneur, when I say has no weaknesses, I mean, we're always firming up our muscles, going, oh, I need to firm this up. I'll work on that. We're fusion oriented, and fusion means we don't just use one tactic. We combine many different marketing channels. They all work together, and that's why we get results. And we're very disciplined. We have tasks at hand. Doesn't mean we spend a lot of time working. We spend a lot of free time. We have tons of time freedom. We're very disciplined about doing our marketing. Guerrilla marketing, everything that we create, online or offline, has a purpose. We don't do a post, we don't do a tweet, we don't do anything without a purpose. And we design for recognition, brand recognition, viral recognition. We design so that anything we create, online or offline, is easy to read. By the way, many of you don't. We design for simplicity. The human brain demands simplicity, and for selective emphasis. What are the key things that we want people to recall and remember? And our designs are visual. People respond best to visual. Many of you design things that are all words. That doesn't work. Most people are visual. We design for efficiency, make it happen, make it fast, get your key points across to people. And we also recognize that some designs have limitation, right? Like we don't send emails by HTML because that has a very low deliverability rate. And so we also understand that we have a limitation in how we send out our emails, as an example. We design freely by delegation. In fact, our businesses run as companies, not as a business trading time for money, making one-to-one calls or whatever else anybody is doing. We delegate, we have teams, we barter, and we create companies so we have more free time. So we're really good at our crafts, really, really good at what we need to do. Now, as guerrilla marketers, we always have a call to action. I want you to think about how you have a call to action. You have to get people to act now. If someone doesn't act now, they're not going to act later. There's going to be a million more marketing messages and yours will get lost in the shuffle. So what are things you can do? Act now, save 20% on the price that it'll be next month. Register today, you can get started immediately. Click here, learn what some of my client family members have said. Come to tonight's webinar, learn how you can enhance customer loyalty. Those are all samples of calls to action that I've written for some of my client family members on getting people to act right now. Because once people don't act, it's hard to get them back. So let me give you a few guerrilla tips. Commit 100% to your business. If you're in it and going to quit and give up very quickly, you need a job. It's not what an entrepreneur can do. When you create profits, you put at least 10, if not 20%, right back into the business. I tell my client family members to have a separate account. And as soon as they get money in, take 10 or 20% out and put it in a marketing account. That's how you develop and grow your business. Motivate other business partners. I teach a whole system of getting in front of other people's audiences. So you don't need to create your own email list or social media presence, and motivate the other people to help grow your business. Treat every person who ever comes across your path, even if they're selling you something, as someone special and interesting. I've had conversations over the last 43 years with salespeople about something that I really did not expect to buy or didn't buy. And yet we've developed relationships and sometimes helped one another. I also, as some of you know, and I'm doing it here, I freely communicate whatever I know. I'm an open book. I share in this group. If you haven't been in the documents section, man, I'm giving it away. I come here every week at 2 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, and I just help and share and give it away. I'm not afraid, and I live with an abundance mindset. I appreciate what anyone on my team does. I have a magnificent, amazing team of people, and one member that's new, and she's learning, and sometimes everything isn't perfect. I appreciate that too. How people learn. And I celebrate every success, even if it's a minor one. Anything is a win. We look at what is working and what is going right. And I'm not the smartest person in the room. I listen to everyone in my company. I listen to every single person, what their thoughts are, what their ideas are. It's not I'm smarter than everybody else in the room. Exceed your customers' expectations. Thomas Leonard, who is one of the fathers of coaching, as you may know, he was one of my first coaches. And Thomas Leonard talked a lot about under-promising and over-delivering. I actually talk about something different. No promising and over-delivering. You exceed your customers' expectations when they go, wow. That's how you make it happen. Control your expenses, and that's why we help you through guerrilla marketing, low and no cost marketing. And if you do a better job than your competitors, you'll succeed more than they will. Swim upstream, and what I mean by that is avoid all the conventional wisdom. When people are telling you to do Facebook ads and cold calling and creating PowerPoints and banners and Facebook groups, they might not be the best wisdom. Don't sound canned. Somebody asked me recently, can I have a script for what to say on the phone? I said, never. You need to be in the moment, having a real-time conversation. Be an expert. If you're not amazing at what you do and you can't guarantee what you do, please do something else. I only pay and invest in experts. If you can't have a guarantee about your products or your services, then I think you should be selling something else. Get your name out there. If you have a logo, get it out there, your company name out there. Do a lot of activities so people get to see you and your household name. And then you always want to make sure you want to educate your clients, your customers, your prospects. If you're not on my list, you can be. Go to heartrepreneur.com. We send out a weekly informative newsletter. We have blogs at heartrepreneur.com/blog. We have a radio show. You can find it on iTunes, Heartrepreneur Radio. You can go to YouTube and find Heartrepreneur TV. We just educate here in this group. We share, we give, we give. And then if anyone stops using your services or your products, recall them and reactivate them. Visit them, okay? During a pandemic, you may have to phone them or schedule a Zoom. But normally, literally, I would drive to your place of business and I'd say, hey, can we sit down or can I buy you a cup of coffee? What's up? Okay, most people don't go that extra mile. Remember that tip. It's an important one. Create a nice, big, juicy list of all the reasons someone should buy your products and services. Why you? Why your products? Why your services? If you go to the website promisingprofits.com, there's a formula in there that shows all the reasons why someone should use you. Hint, hint, you might want to model that page. Always talk about your benefits. Nobody cares about your features, your tools, your equipment, or we're going to meet, every week for an hour. Nobody cares. What's the end result that you're guaranteeing? Mirror your client, your patient, mirror how they speak, mirror how they like to talk. Make people comfortable by actually being more like them. I'm not saying to not be authentic, but if they like to dress in a certain way, if I go meet them, I'll dress in that certain way as well. I told you already, create a sense of urgency. Do it authentically. I was at somebody's website. It said, this offer expires in 16 hours and X minutes. And I forgot to go back. And the next day I went back well over 16 hours, like 28 hours after. It said, this offer expires in 16 hours. Okay, that's not creating authentic urgency. Be authentic. This may sound like a no-brainer. This is like, hey, I could have had a V8. Ask for the sale. I always say to people, would you like to get started? Would you like my help? Would you like to get into my program? Many people say nothing. I met with somebody this morning trying to sell me something that I'm interested in. At the end of the conversation, they said, do you have any other questions? I said, no. I waited for them to close the sale. They said, okay, then get back to us. What? No, ask me, do you want to go forward? Can I send you the agreement? Okay, that's really important. Here's a key point. Sell to only your ideal target audience. Don't just pitch everyone. I work with coaches, consultants, speakers, trainers, authors. I work with naturopaths, doctors, integrative medicine, functional medicine, chiropractors. I know who I work with. I don't quote pitch to everyone. And then whenever I do engage with someone, I send them a video or I send them a note of thanks. Now, I sell by appointments. What do I mean by that? You have to have an appointment with my team. My team has to meet with you. We say cold call in between, but I don't want to pick up the phone and call people cold. Let's just say we had an appointment and you were thinking about it, or I was thinking about if I'd accept you into the program. I might give you a buzz in between and say, hey, Jennifer, I'm just curious how are things going? Any other questions? Very simple. Guerrilla marketers, we are also sales pros. Now, what does that mean? Don't let that scare you. We don't sell. We show up. We're consistently who we are in integrity. We're persistent. We make sure that we're answering all your questions. We're thorough. We're very conscientious, and we do our jobs well. We keep accurate records of all conversations. So whether you talk with me or Ken or Jennifer or Barbara or Dee or anybody else on my team, we're keeping notes. I'm telling you that transparently because we're making a decision about accepting you and you're making a decision about embracing us. We do follow-ups, whether it be by phone, mail, back in the day, in person, Zoom. And we spend several hours a week having phone conversations, new people who are prospects, as well as people who we chatted with last week. We keep our promises. If we tell you we're going to send you something, we're going to do a video, or we're going to get you a document, we do exactly what we say. Now, I know there's all kinds of social media out there, and some of you are like Instagram and Snapchat and Clubhouse and blah, 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 blah. There are big three, whether you like it or not. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Okay, I put YouTube on there as well because YouTube is really a search engine, although it's used. No matter what your thoughts are about LinkedIn, your target audience is there. Even if you say, well, I don't work with businesses, your target audience is there. I don't care what you say about Facebook and all the negative press about Facebook. Facebook is the big gorilla, and my friends, it's not going anywhere, okay? And Twitter is also important. You need to find at least one network. I'm not asking you to use all of them. I use Facebook most exclusively to connect, like we are here, to network, to interact, to get relationships, to get known in your industry, to start business opportunities, joint ventures, to refer to other people, to get referred, to market your business literally for free. And at the same time, I hope you enjoy it the way I do, where you're having easy, effortless, and in fact, fun communication. I know a lot of people use advertising, and I want you to understand advertising is one of the 300 guerrilla marketing tactics. It's this tiny, it's one weapon. Most business owners, when I meet with them, maybe know 5 or 10 marketing channels. They don't know 300. And when I find out how many they use, at the most, it's 3 channels. Guerrilla marketers, they understand all 300, and they really understand the top 100. Now, while they don't use all of them, they use about 40 of them, not all at once, but over the course of a year. More than half of these guerrilla marketing weapons, more than half of those 100 top weapons are free. They're low, no cost marketing. They're low and no cost marketing. So I have given you a tremendous amount of information today. I want to hear some comments, and I want to invite you. I'm going to share this. On April 9th at 9 a.m. Eastern, April 9th at 9 a.m. Eastern, my client family members and I are having a success mastermind for about 2 full hours. It's going to be on Zoom. It's very interactive. We're going to talk about what they might be doing wrong, and we're going to talk about the guerrilla marketing tactics to set them up for their best plan to go forward in the next quarter. You will get under here in a little bit, when I go back here, you'll get a link. If you are serious about scaling your business, I don't want any people dipping their toes in, but people are like, I'd love to be a part of Terry's mastermind group for free for 2 hours, get to see her client family members, get to hear what Terry shares, get to ask questions and be included just as if I am a client family member, because I am thinking about being one. Then I will drop the link in here shortly, and I will invite you to register and join us. Only if you're really serious. I only play with serious people. If you're an implementer, if you're going to come to that call with the right attitude, ready to implement, I'm going to help you and my client family members for 2 full hours. April 9th, 9 a.m. Eastern. Move every appointment you have, change your calendar, might last up to 2 hours. It's a one-time. I wouldn't miss it. If I created value for you, I'd love to hear that. I care. You matter. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.